quick. Cast in a replay or two with Zombie Grub. Then we are going to delve into Archon mode. Alright. So this guy in the top left, he's a barcode, he's a Protoss player. I don't know what rank they were. I wasn't looking. Oops, that's not what I want to paste. We all know
Diamond, and he's facing a Masters.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so he's Diamond, he's facing a Masters, and his name is Seraphim. But of course he's the red barcode.
So, in the bottom right says the Masters player, it's the blue Zerg. Sweet.
Sweet. SIN, what clan? Man, I feel like that's actually a clan tag we've seen before casting people in like qualifiers.
Sin?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, we might have played them, but I don't remember casting someone with it.
I'll probably look that up later and look. But anyways, we'll see what the openers look like. They'll probably hit that fast forward. You know, actually, let's just hit that fast forward button now. We'll get into the openers a little bit quicker that way. Again, this is a bit of a longer replay, but the nice thing was that Seraphim here was nice enough to support our Kickstarter. One of the reward goals was have your replays cast by Rifkin and Zombie Grub. So he opted to do it publicly. We, of course, have a couple private replays we have to do at some point. People don't want them broadcast. Maybe they're a little shy. I don't know. But the last two we did were pretty fun, and we got some really weird moments out of it. So at this point, I am above being snooty, and I'm just hoping for the best.
The last one we cast was really super fun.
The mass Marines with no gas? Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I think as long as they're basically equally skilled, we usually get some pretty good games.
Yeah. Oh, this is a weird spawning pool placement. Yeah, we've always, I think that's the one thing we've always harped on the channel the most, right? Like, it'd be really cool to see Jaedong, but I don't want to see Jaedong versus a Bronze League player. I'd rather see two Bronze League players at it, or two Jaedongs at it. You know, not people who are so imbalanced that the game just looks no fun and one's trolling and the other's not. You go to like Dragon Stream or Winter Stream for things like that. But
yeah.
Us, if it's a decent match, it's a decent match. It doesn't. We're not looking at this game for build orders. We're not looking to it like it was a Korean Kespa League match where you're like, I can learn from this. We're just hoping to have a little bit of fun with StarCraft 2, and I think that's what I don't know. It sets us apart a bit, I guess.
Oh, I mean, maybe. I guess, yeah.
We do got a Zealot running across the map to go for a poke. Now, I guess Seraphim here did open a bit greedy with that really fast Nexus, but again, at these leagues, I don't really know if that really comes into a big effect or not.
Oh, it's interesting is just that like the forge is placed, you know, back here. Usually that's where they try and hide it if they're going for a secret cannon rush. Wanna like derp out the Overlord, but obviously not the case. Didn't happen here. The Zealot's gonna get cornered, but it forced out some lings. It technically got some scouting. It saw that the third was in fact, you know, up and ready to go. So that's, you know, that's important.
Someone in chat, by the way, suggests we should have an in-house sub war sometime with lower league players, Team Rifkin and Team Zombie Grub. So the last time we did this, it was a battle for Catalina, and I lost, so I'm not super inclined to do this again.
Actually, PB just suggested in my channel that we do a Rifkin versus ZG sub war, and the loser has to buy the other pancakes or waffles.
I think we could do that.
At an event.
That's something I would be willing to set up. Low stakes, high pancakes. You know what I'm saying?
No,
wait.
Stakes,
low stakes, high stacks. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's even better. So the Lings did get in here. Well, I don't know, slow down the replay now. Seems like things might get heated up soon.
Yeah,
as there are a lot of gateways, and that was scouted.
And the Dark Shrine finishes up here in just a moment as well, so if these Zealots can get in there and take out the Spore Crawler, it's all going to be super gravy. Lings, of course, not going to be enough to deal with the Zealots. They do have +1, so it's the 2-shot instead of 3-shot, but Roaches are popping as we speak. And go for the Nexus, a little bit, I guess, ambitious. They'll get a lot of damage in, and maybe something to execute it with the Dark Templar too, but DT's actually not here yet. Maybe in the main with that Warp Prism? Yeah, there we go. 6.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Holy crap. How did he get so much gas? That was off of only 3 gases, too.
I guess he's warping in all these Zealots, right? No Stalkers, no Sentries.
And no Mothership.
No Mothership Core, yeah. Oh god. So this layer's definitely screwed.
Oh god, this is a rage-inducing amount of DTs.
Yeah, the best part was he did distract. I'll give him commendments on this. Like, this wasn't just, okay, you sideswipe somebody with DTs. Sweet's attention was 100% on that third, looking for that Zealot deny. Oh my god, gets the Roach Ward. Things are melting here. It's like a hot knife through butter. What's happening?
Yeah, how does this game continue on after this? Of course, you can only save 4 of the 6 DTs he warped in. Oh no. Jesus. But he can spread these DTs out and just really cause a lot more, panic and whatnot. Again, we're up against the left, but there are spine crawlers prepared in a couple of units.
These spore crawlers are so necessary because with the lair going down, there's no overseers, so there's no way to really fight the DTs in the mid zone.
That's a good point. He warped in one, or morphed in one rather, but of course it's still slow. No chance for the Overlord's speed quite yet, and yeah, it's not really not really doing the job. Whoops. Again, in the main, the DTs do cancel a hatchery, but are cleaned up.
It's kind of hard to really see how this went, though. I mean, it did take Seraphim a little bit of time to get his own third up behind this, so I feel like if this had been slapped down as the DTs were killing the main, this would have been actually a fantastic move. But because it's slower, it's not quite up and running, and I wouldn't exactly call him super ahead, but that was a good, I'll say it's a great snipe. It was really cool. And if he had managed to squeeze out that third too, that would have been fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think he should be like way farther ahead than he is right now. Hasn't really been using, I guess, a lot of warp ends. As we can see, there's only 3 sentries, and the rest are immortals. And a lot's just been on the harass rather than building up an army back at home. But third's finishing up, and he still has that mental edge, I would even say. As yeah, Sweet still, he's replanting the main base, and at 69 drones, he's gonna be okay on drones for a while longer. So everything's, pretty much okie dokie for him. I don't know why he turned the DTs and Archons. Maybe he's really afraid of the counterattack.
I mean, Archons and Immortals are gonna be fantastic versus Roaches, but yeah, I think this is more to the point that he's lost a couple so far to that Overseer. Maybe a couple more sneak attacks come in, but there's spore crawlers all over the place. There's overseers floating around. There's not really a lot of opportunity to use Dark Templar right now.
That's true. I just I feel like even then, they might even be better as DTs if you're able to get the Overseer, or if they have to bring it or whatnot.
Man,
the last case scenario is more for the Archons.
Maybe it's because I'm the shitty player that does this, but I'm like, I'll throw all in just to kill the Overseer so you can warp in some defensive DTs, and you're like, yes.
Yeah. Oh, this is I mean, even without the Archons, the Immortals and any amount of Force Goads, and maybe a little more buffer with some Zealots being warped in, and it's a perfect anti-Roach army.
Yeah, unfortunately, a couple do squeeze by, but looks like this won't be too bad. Warping in directly here on the high ground with some more Stalkers. They do have Blink, so chasing this won't be too out of the question. There's an Observer here as well, so Burrow not quite going to be the auto-save that it tends to be. And between the Archon damage of 43 and the Immortals hitting for, what was that, like 60? Yeah, 60. The Roaches just don't stand a chance. The Hydra's coming up behind us are sweet, absolutely necessary, but of course the question is whether that'll be good enough, because I still feel like this army, get a couple of Colossus in here, which are on the way, and this is like perfect. He's got +3 weapons on the way. This is going to be so sick. Sweet's only finishing +1 as we speak.
I would actually like to see Blink Stalkers with more sentries, actually, more so than Colossus.
Mass Blink Stalkers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is the way to go. I think the Colossus type of players are usually the ones that aren't as confident. Like, Blink Stalker control with great force fields, that's something that I think can be amazing, but based on the player's skill with it. So usually, like in lower leagues, or people who are a little, more hesitant, they will go ahead and get to those Colossus a lot quicker.
So I think I would agree, most of the time, but it's because he already invested in so many Immortals and the Archons that I can totally understand why he delves down this tech path. But I agree, Blink Stalkers, objectively are better, en masse. We've just seen that as a result.
Yeah, I would actually say because he went for so many Immortals and Archons, that they need the fodder of Blink Stalkers would be better than the Colossus, which is still very snipeable if, Hive was done, or just steps out of bounds, basically. But neither of those things have happened so far. The Hive's still a long ways off. Hopefully there's an infestation pit. And Seraphim's looking to push. I thought he was actually going to commit here, but too afraid of that concave that was being set up.
I like taking the rocks down. You can open an alternate path to walk about the map. For Seraphim, though, I mean, I'm surprised his tech got so far ahead, if we're going to be honest. I mean, I know it's not exactly GM versus GM. There's not a lot of pressure and aggression going on, but, his weapon upgrades hit 3 so fast. Armor's now coming out, and Sweet is just... he's got nothing in comparison, really.
Not many Blinks being microed here. Bit of a mistake, or, well, really big mistake. And of course, no proxy pylon. That War Prism was trying to do damage in the main base. So what should have been probably a very easy fight with, 7 Stalkers being warped in at a time.
Colossus, go home. Colossus, go home.
That much damage. And yeah, he's taking damage back at home.
These DTs should be able to clean this up. It's an Overlord, not an Overseer, though.
Oh, yeah.
That does take away his warp-ins from the front lines, though, so these pokes are a little bit ambitious, but looks like they're getting the job done. Heard of Overlords coming. I've heard of Overlords coming, but this is ridiculous.
That's clever. Oh, we have a Spire on the way for Sweets, which... it's okay. And it's certainly like he's feeling the pressure. He wants to get something out as soon as possible, and for him that seems to be the Spire. But Vipers, a Hive are definitely the better way to go. If you have the time to get it out. But a little too pressured, you're just going to get simple Corruptors. They're going to deal with the Colossus, no problem, but that's where, like, you know, instead of going for Colossus, a Mass Blink Stalker army would have been absolutely fine, too. And going up to High Templars instead, because, of course, he did get a Twilight Council as well as a Robo, so both of those splash options would have been open to him.
You know, never having gone for the Mothership Core either means no recall options available. No at-home photon overcharges. This the Roach Hydra army being behind him like this is actually really scary, but looks like Sweet. He's going to turn around, he's going to come back home, try and defend. Third base is going to go down. Realizing that all the drones went to the left, he might find out about that fourth base he hasn't scouted yet.
Yeah. Use another Warp Prism to go ahead and harass that, or just make a beeline towards it. The army's going to try and catch him. It does have a nice concave out here.
Interception!
A couple of the Corruptors have already gone down the Blink Stalkers. They blink forward to try and take the rest of them out, but those Colossus are ripping through everything anyways.
The Hydras. I thought those Hydras were actually going to get the concave to kill the Colossus. Look at their health. But, wow, that melt factor, that melting point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 3, then 4 Colossus on Hydralisk. Yeah, they're going to melt. You'd really need to attack with the Corruptors first and basically throw them away before even, you know, trying to attack with the Hydras and make that work out. It does finally get the Colossus, rather, and once you do that, you start to feel a lot better about your chances, especially with such a big bank as both of them have. But he needs to get those Hydras out, not just the Roaches, because the Mortals are still alive.
Well, walking away from this fight, I mean, the big thing for Seraphim is he does keep so much of his army alive, and I really got to emphasize, like, these upgrades have been kicking ass this whole game. We finally have Sweet kind of catching up. Like, he's on his +2 range, but finally, but... I mean, +3 weapons for the majority of the game really just gave Seraphim every engagement he wanted to take.
Another observer is on the way. Must have lost it to a Spore Crawler, I do believe, at that third base.
I wouldn't be surprised. His Colossus has been walking into them, too.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I would guess that. We have shield upgrades on the way. Went for double Forge at some point. Not what we usually see in this matchup, but if you have enough money, which they did previously, they're both banking about 2,000, 1,000, then why not?
My question for this Sweet really comes into the choice of Corruptors. So this is I feel like a lot more old school Zerg. You know, once upon a time we used to see mass Corruptors just be made, wipe out the Colossus, turn to Broodlords. Good game, it's all over. But this is layer tech. You know, more modern strategies kind of tend to involve going for things like Vipers, getting those Abducts off, being way more effective. You get +3 weapons off of it. I don't like that he's staying on layer tech, and I think being on layer tech is probably going to cost Sweet this game more than anything else. Yeah.
Simply staying on Roach, Hydra, Viper is killing people. So to stay on Roach, Hydra, Corruptor is probably going to kill this Zerg even quicker. It's a layer-based composition that will fall off, especially once they start to invest into High Templars and Archons, and that Storm. They don't really need to start including Colossus. Again, you could just go for Mass Blink Stalkers with Sentries, with some, really powerful units behind that, as the Immortal or Archons would be. We finally have a Mothership Core, by the way. Just, 20 minutes in the game, no big deal.
Yeah, it's like that 19-minute sim timing, right? Hype! The downside of the Mothership Core coming out so late is, well, I mean, I guess it isn't really needed recalls or time warps, but I can imagine so many of those engagements would have been complemented by them. I do like it now, but again, it's not going to have a lot of energy either, so no cool tricks right away.
Ooh, I believe the player we're casting is in the chat right now.
Oh, yeah, Seraphim wanted me to message him, so I emailed him saying, hey, we're going to cast your game, so... If that's Seraphim in chat, give him a holler, guys. Give him some ace cates. Drop those cats! Well, actually, they always land, on their feet, so don't worry about it. You can literally drop the cat. Although, apparently, you can't drop cats from, like... There's some, like, there's, like, some height. I can't remember what it is, but I remember reading this article about... There's, like, this weird magic number height where they can't land on their feet. But everything else is fine.
I think I know what you're talking about, because it doesn't give them enough time to reposition.
To flip over or something, yeah.
Something like that.
Anyway, Seraphim's army is looking pretty darn good. The mass Blink Stalkers, if microed even just half-acidly, would still, I think, take on this army. The upgrade gap is starting to close. Sweet's going to get that armor kicking in. He's not going to be taking hits so easily, but, you know, with the, well, that was a random blink. With the Roach army not being so... I guess there's not that much of a buffer for the Hydras is what I worry about. And we saw how easily they melted before. They could just melt again.
Yeah. I think they will. Again, some force field to be really nice here, but I agree as long as the blinks are just even half good, then the Immortals are going to rip through the shield, and then the Blink Stalkers, especially with their very good upgrades, are going to rip through those Hydralisks. Looks like Zerg player's going to go for the fights. He's not really the one that I think that has the better army, though, so to have him choose the engagement is a little odd.
Yeah, the worst part is the Corruptors go in like without any support. They just get shot by... It's like watching a Terran player fly Vikings in with no bio nearby. The Stalkers just picked them off easy peasy. The Colossus, they don't feel the burn at all. These Hydras are going to be in trouble. Those Roaches are starting to dissipate. There's no meat shield for them to hide behind.
Yeah, they are going to melt. I mean, 2 Colossus usually isn't that scary, but a Hydralisk with all the Blink Stalkers on the bottom, that is. And one thing that, you know, Seraphim definitely needs, I think, more is proxy pylons, always bringing a probe.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, he was a little used to having the Warp Prism for the first 15 minutes of this game, but he never seems to have any warp-ins.
I mean, in fairness, that Warp Prism usage was better than we've seen some Koreans even do. Like, sniping off that main was really cool, but, yeah, perhaps a little too dependent on the Warp Prism. Because no reinforcements, it's not even about having no reinforcements, but rather no reinforcements here on the front lines. I do like that bank he's got behind this, and as silly as it is, I rather enjoy the fact that he's been layering cannons all over his bases just to make sure these run-bys don't completely catch him off guard. But, oh, some AI control, gonna cost him some units. Ugh. That pathfinding, though.
Oh, gonna cost him a couple of Colossus, too. Oh, he blinks forward to try and save them, but honestly letting them die as opposed to putting himself in this weird position probably would have been better.
Maybe. I still think this Blink Stalker count should be enough to take this on, but he's starting to fight in a choke, his own choke. He should be using this against Sweet. Just back up like 5 feet, man. You take such a better engagement. Well, he's still going to barely take it by the looks of it. No, he's going to start turning around. 2k minerals, 2k gas for the reinforcements, though. Look at those lines of Stalkers being warped. How many gateways is there in play right now? 13. That's 13 Stalkers, 13 Zealots. No big deal. Just one click and drag.
Yeah. It's a pretty good count for 4 bases. 5 bases. Okay, maybe he needs a little more for 5 bases, but that's still really nice macro behind that. Again, if he had proxy pylons, he'd probably, you know, be maxed out.
I don't know if it'd be a low league game or a high stakes game, but I would love to watch a game where a Protoss player has so much money banked up they could actually go for, like, say 25 gateways, and it's only 1 round of warp-ins period because you'd use up all your money. But that'd be so sick watching like 20 Zealots on the front line, just like warping in.
I played some PvPs like that. They go on like for 45 minutes.
Dude, you are. I think you're supposed to know. PvP doesn't last more than 10 minutes. What are you doing? What are you?
Oh, what am I doing wrong? I don't know. I don't know. That's weird.
Well, this is surprisingly equalized out. I mean, Sweet has maintained a fairly decent drone count through all of this. I mean, the actual workers killed this game are not that high, 16 to 6. So he's always had this economy. It's just the question of the bases, and I don't know if he's going to be able to take a 5th again. Meanwhile, Seraphim is gladly extending to his 6th.
Yeah. Zerg players still stuck on this very low-tech composition, bad upgrades as well. If Seraphim would just take a position, you know, where there's a nice enough concave, and he has started to include a couple of those sentries in there, then I think it should absolutely demolish this force. Really, Sweet should be feeling a lot more pressure than he is. He's feeling pressure, sure. Like, I'm pretty sure he's realizing he's losing this game, but honestly, his only hope is to base trade and hope that something happens.
Well, Stalker's getting some shots off that poor Warp Prism.
Oh, 5 Colossus, all by themselves are, you know, dangerous, but that damage output would still have taken out like half of the Hydras.
Looking for some Guardian Shields, looking for some Force Shields, neither coming down.
Oh, the High Templars, no!
He doesn't have Storm just yet, perhaps thought he had it finished, now it's done. But most of the army's already dead. Corruptors are going to finish off a couple of the Colossus by the looks of it, but I still don't think Sweet's got the actual army value. This drone's pulled with this zombie grub. Storm's going down, Stalkers from the backside. This is looking as closing in. GG's called. Seraphim, our Kickstarter champion. And of course, I think he's in chat, so if you guys want to harass him or praise him, you know, Dirty Protoss or Great Protoss, have at it. Quick